What's with them that impressed you? And then I'll go.
Yes, we want to know, Eric.
Where do I start? No, bro, honestly, like, it was just, well, this applies for both of them, but before music, it's like, you know, the fact that we just got along, you know, like outside of music, and then the music stuff will come naturally, you know, but I got along with them and not, you know, some other guy in class. So that's kind of, that was the aha moment, I think. Like, these guys are chill. I'm like, let me just hang out with them. And then, you know, just naturally just kind of went to, hey, let's just.
I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't even, before we get to hang out, it was more so like we're forced to be in the same area. Yeah. I chose to just go along with, you know, keep an open mind. Right. So I'm out here to network and, you know, so I definitely kept an open mind, and I'm glad I did, because here we are. So
I remember we all took a class. Eric came up to me in one of the classes, and we just started talking. He was like, we can book out the studios at school. He was like, oh, I have a session. You could come through, and we could just put our brains together, see what we come up with. So Eric and I started doing that. We were doing that for a while, and then I remember Josh and I just linked up, and I just thought, like, it's perfect. Like, I have to get everyone together. You know what I mean?
It's so cool to set the artists aside from these guys and see them as people too.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest thing. Like I said, not just anybody could, you know, form the group with us. Like, it was all genuine. You know, like when we met each other, it's like they're good people. So
no egos or
just a bunch of jokes, man.
Just a bunch of
laughs. That's what we got. Like, I remember us being like, just in his apartment, because that's where all the magic happens. Mr. Miles Madigan, aka McDangles, in his apartment, and we'll just be like, dude, I think that we should do this. We should collab on this, and Eric will be like, I was just thinking that too. Like, you know, it'll be stuff like that. Like, we'll all have something to contribute and to pitch in, whether it's an idea. Like, one idea leads to like 1,000. Trust me.
Welcome to the Pacos Place podcast.
Visit ABBAeServices.com for fast medical transcription service. This podcast episode is brought to you by AB Music Creative.
And the podcast will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, live at Pacos Place, we have Eric Han. We have Miles. What's your last name again, Miles?
Madigan.
Madigan. There you go. Oh my God, I'm going to have to spell that. And we have Josh Royale. Big round of applause. I'm going to start with the spelling of your name. How do you spell it?
M-A-D, or Miles is M-I-L-E-S.
We got that.
Yeah. And then M-A-D-I-G-A-N.
Madigan. Okay. And you're Royal. No E at the end.
No
right?
E at the end. Not to get it confused. You know?
Or else it would be Royale.
Yeah, and that's unacceptable.
Yours is easy.
Yes.
H-A-N.
Yes. Keep it simple, you know.
This is your second time on Pacos Place, right?
Yeah. Second time.
Dude,
First time was...
thanks for coming over again.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Now, why do we have Miles and Josh?
Well, I was thinking about how today would go, and I was like, you know, I was thinking about like what I would talk about. And I'm like, I can't really talk about what I do without them, you know, as they're so involved. You know? And I feel like we're just all kind of working on the same thing, working on each other. So I was like, hey, why not? You know?
What impressed me with you, and both of you just pick up and run. What impressed me with you, Eric, is the fact that you're going beyond. Like, music has no boundaries. We know that, right? And your enthusiasm with music, whether it's in a language or a form that you don't really understand, you're able to interpret, right? So now,
we can call it that.
Your collab with Josh and with Miles, this I want to know, because you produce music, right? Do all three of you produce music?
Oh yeah.
So I don't do as much of producing, like making beats, but I do like vocal engineering and mixing, and I'm a songwriter. So that's what I have to bring to the table, along with a positive attitude, you know
there
what I'm saying?
Go. Always.
Yeah, but yeah, we all just kind of find ways to feed off of each other and make each other better, you know what I'm saying? Because it's about, 2023 is about mutually beneficial relationships.
Amen, I agree.
Oh yeah.
How about you, Miles?
So I produce, and I also do some vocal stuff too. I just more recently started doing that. When I started, I was just making beats, and then it brought me all the way out here to Los Angeles, and I met Josh, and he would get on some of my beats and stuff. And I kind of started doing my own music, putting my own voice on the beats, just because kind of
put the mic.
Yeah, sorry. I started putting my own like sound on the beats because I like thought I had the sound. You know what I mean? And yeah, I've just been rolling with that since then.
So lately, we've been combining our talents, and no matter what we need, if it's a beat, if it's visuals, if it's a voice to put on there, we've just been finding ways to come together and make something out of nothing.
Let's go with come together. Who found who? Like you mentioned, you met up with Josh, but the three of you, who found who?
That's a good question. I don't even know if we've ever thought about this ourselves. So basically, we all met at the LA Film School, and I'm not sure who met first, but I know that I would go over to his place before me and Eric got really cool, as close as we are now. And somewhere along in that journey is where he came along, and we were just like, hey, I mean, we don't just recruit anybody. It could be anybody, but not somebody who doesn't have like the work ethic. And so I mean, so far just us three, when we put our heads together, I mean, it's amazing.
Something special. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What impresses you with Miles and Josh? And you know what? And the reason why I'm asking all these questions is because my time, it was more, this is my thing. I'm not showing my cards. Then when the whole Neptunes came out, that became a duo collab, right? And then Timbaland, then Justin Timberlake, the whole collab, and everybody started doing collabs.
Yeah.
Now it's a plethora of different songwriters and artists. Zed not only writes, it's Zed plus, right? So this is very exciting because I want to know what impressed, what's with them that impressed you, and then I'll go around the table and ask all of you also.
We want to know, Eric.
Yeah, all right. Let's get started.
No
All right,
pressure.
where do I start? No, well, first off, like, I mean, just the music, like what I'm hearing, I love what they have to show me.
Whom did you hear first?
I heard Josh first, I think.
Okay, so what was it like? What was your aha moment with Josh?
Bro, honestly, like, it was just, well, this applies for both of them, but before music, it's like, the fact that we just got along, like outside of music, and then the music stuff will come naturally, but I got along with them and not, some other guy in class. So that was the aha moment, I think. I'm like, oh, these guys are like,
that, for sure.
yeah,
100%.
well, these guys are chill. I'm like, let me just hang out with them. And then, just naturally just kind of went to, hey, let's just.
So you guys hung out with Eric not knowing he actually does remixes, all that stuff.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't even, before we get to hang out, it was more so like we're forced to be in the same area. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you have one of few choices, and I chose to just go along with, keep an open mind. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not from here either. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and the chances of making it there is slim to none.
Right.
So I'm out here to network, and so I definitely kept an open mind, and I'm glad I did, because here we are. So
yeah, for sure. So I remember, if we just going back to I remember we all took a class that was analog studio
something
recording.
Wow.
Or something like that.
We took this is terrible that I can't remember the class that we were all in, but I remember Eric came up to me in one of the classes and we just started talking. He was like, we can book out the studios at school. He was like, oh, I have a session, you could come through and we could just put our brains together, see what we come up with. So Eric and I started doing that, and then we were doing that for a while, and then I remember Josh and I just linked up, and I just thought, like, it's perfect, like, I have to get everyone together, you know what I mean?
It's so cool to set the artists aside from these guys and see them as people too.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest thing. Like I said, not just anybody could, form the group with us. Like, it was all genuine. Like when we met each other, it's like they're good people. So
no egos or
Nah, not at all.
egos in check.
just a bunch of jokes, man.
Just a bunch of, jokes,
bunch of
man.
laughs.
Good vibes.
That's what we got.
Okay, so finally, you guys are hanging out. Who actually thought of, let's do some collabs. Let's see what we can come up with.
Well,
Go ahead.
well, let me just say from my POV, because for me, I just approached Miles and was like, you just want to like work on beats. And so for a while, like we were just kind of making like house beats together. And yeah.
I would to answer your question, I would say we all kind of did. Like,
Right.
I remember us being like, just in his apartment, because that's where all the magic happens.
Yeah.
Mr. Miles Madigan, aka McDangles, in his
That's
apartment, and we'll just be like, dude, I think that we should do this. We should collab on this, and Eric will be like, I was just thinking that too. Like, you know, it'll be stuff like that. Like, we'll all have something to contribute and to pitch in, whether it's an idea. Like, one idea leads to like 1,000. Trust me.
Of course, yeah, just playing stuff for each other.
Now let's go back, because people who listen to Paco's Place are people looking for inspiration, right? So LA Film School, Missouri. Where are you from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Where are you from?
I was born in Korea. I'm from Torrance.
Torrance. Yeah, that's pretty far. I mean, okay. So before going to LA, let's go back, kid from Missouri, what was in your head? What was the plan all along in your head?
In my head, the plan was never to go to school. The plan was always music, because I believed if you have a good plan A, then it doesn't matter what your plan B is. So I actually ended up, ironically, having a plan B, and not necessarily a fall back, but a fall forward, because at least now I'll have an education and a degree that I could put to some sort of use to just keep, expanding.
So what was the conversation with your parents?
I don't want to go to school. You're going to school.
and then.
So find something that you like. But really, I'm the youngest of three young men, and there's a big age gap between me and them, so they're
Like
closer to each
years?
other. 6 and 8 years.
Ooh, okay.
So it's really me learning from them and just kind of watching in the background.
They both went to college.
They did both go to
So
college.
the pressure was on you.
Yes, but more pressure because they didn't necessarily finish. So it's like I have the potential to be the first one in my family
Yes,
to, you know.
So when you said you were going to LA, what did they say?
My dad wanted to jump on the plane and come with me, because he used to do this stuff as a teenager,
Right.
and he came out and did the Cali thing. But where I'm from, if you move to Cali, even if you take a trip to Cali, everybody thinks you've made it. You know what I'm saying? So now that I moved out here, it's like, speaking of motivation, it's just, I'm really trying to motivate people to let them know that
Amen.
I'm more like you than not. So it's like, you can do it too, just follow your dream, work hard, man.
How are you, Miles? New Jersey. How many siblings do you have?
I have 3 younger sisters.
Okay.
So,
So what was high school Miles thinking?
oh man, nothing important. High school Miles was up to
Wait,
no
which
good.
part of Jersey are you from?
From North New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah. No, high school Miles was up to no good. But the plan, just because off of what you had asked him, growing up there, the plan is you go to college and you get a degree in finance, and you do like finance or banking or something of that
New
sort.
York, yeah.
Exactly, yeah, right by New York. So, and I remember I was on that track and it was going well, and I went to a school called Bucknell in Pennsylvania, and I was there and I was doing my classes, and I was making music with my roommate, and kids around the school were starting to be like, oh, this is good, like this is real cool. And I was sitting there struggling in the classes, and one day I was just like, I think I could apply myself better to my education if it's something I care about.
Was this self-talk, or were you talking to your roommate about this, or was this you talking to yourself?
Like the deciding that I wanted to come out here, I was talking to myself. I didn't tell my roommate until late when it was
after, like when the decision was made,
yes,
right?
Yeah, I definitely had to call my parents.
So let's talk about you talking to yourself, because that's you really making that's adulting right there.
For real.
When you're talking to yourself and making a decision to do something that you like, that your family may not understand, right?
Right.
What was the conflict like?
The conflict between me and my parents?
Between you and yourself first.
The conflict between me and myself was more just like, as I mentioned before, there's no one from where I'm from who is like, has done something like this. I mean, there's like Fetty Wap, maybe. He's from New Jersey, but that's about it, for real. So it wasn't really there's no like infrastructure for if you want to do music. Like nobody does that. But I'd been doing it, and the people that knew that I do it liked it. And so I remember it just felt right. Like I was like, I should be applying myself better.
See,
I can apply myself. I can use my time better if I'm doing something productive.
Time, commitment. Finally, it was time to tell your roommate and your parents. So when you told your parents, what was the conversation like?
They were super cool about it. They were actually super cool because they knew that I made music, and they knew like how into it I really was, and they were like, yeah, listen, like this is your, like, you know,
it's
your
your
decision.
life, it's your future,
it's
yeah.
like,
He's asking good questions, man.
yeah,
He's
I know,
me
these
over
are
here.
great questions.
I'm over here about to ask you a question.
Oh yeah, I'm like,
I'm like,
you
wow.
got me reaching back. I haven't had to think about any of this in a long time.
Dr. Phil.
Like, yeah, honestly, I haven't unpacked any of this. Yeah.
This is great.
Okay, you
Yeah.
right? Torrance.
Mhm.
I mean, pressure on you, really, like, especially now. I mean, like Asian folks, pressure is on us, really, because of the rise of a lot of all these Asian music producers and all that stuff. How many siblings do you have?
0, actually.
So it's just you.
Yeah, just me.
And your parents were okay for you to go into music from the get-go?
I think just like growing up, I think they knew I was gonna do something creative. I was always into like painting. My mom sent me to like art classes after school, so I think they always knew I was gonna do something creative. I was making videos growing up too, making like YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I want to be a YouTuber and stuff. So I don't think they were really surprised, and I think it's kind of the same story as Miles. Really, I was gonna go to college for something, and I was like,
What was the something? What was that something?
it's just like, I don't know. Some schools I applied for like this major, some schools I applied for that major.
Let's talk about that. Some schools you applied for this major, some schools you applied for that major. Looking back in hindsight, we think, like you mentioned, time, right? Can you imagine if you guys actually went through the motion, right?
Yeah.
Of doing, the goosebumps.
I know, right?
Of doing something that
Oh yeah.
you guys really did like to do, Josh, right, Miles?
Yeah, trust me. I still feel like that to a certain degree, because even with school, I go and get what I can from it to apply it to my own stuff. But a lot of it is like not necessarily what I want to do. So it's like, but it's good to have balance, you know, and to have discipline. So I have no problem just keep expanding the thing. You feel me?
Yeah. Let's talk about that discipline thing. Because were you really planning to go out of state?
Of course.
Okay.
In St. Louis, it's like, get me out of here. I mean, because it's just it's becoming lately a place where you could make it from St. Louis, but when I was coming through, I've been doing it for 12 years. So when I was coming through, it wasn't going to happen in St. Louis. You could do better in LA on your worst day in LA than on your best day in St. Louis.
Wow. You still go home to Torrance?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a different question for you, but for both of you, the discipline part, alone, no family, you guys have to prove it not only to yourselves, but to the people counting on you back home. How does discipline and fun cross each other, especially in your youth? You guys are young. I mean, there's got to be a level of fun, but then again, a cognitive awareness about discipline, right?
Right. Well, for me, I walk by faith, not by sight.
Amen.
So it's more so like, just from what I believe in, it's just letting go and letting God, you know? So everything happens how it's supposed to, when it's supposed to. I control what I can control. So as long as I know that I, just plan accordingly, as best as you can, right? Because you don't know tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah.
So I just handle my business. That way I can have my fun,
So in other words, you're more into here's the plan. I know that this is what I want, but I'm not going to interfere with what God has in store for me in order to get that plan manifested in my life.
Exactly. Because in music, there is no blueprint.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, that's all you can really do. It's almost, I mean, you do a lot of stuff on the side, self-promoting and everything, do shows and everything, but it's like, there's a lot of hurry up and wait, in music I've learned.
Hurry up and wait.
There is. I mean, from opportunities, you always got to have stuff going on. That's the biggest thing for me. So
I agree with that. And I also think, definitely God's timing is perfect. So it works out when it will work out. But I definitely make a point of it to sit down every day and at least try to get creative. Like, just get down at the computer.
Yeah.
Try to.
That has nothing to do with motivation, by the way. That's commitment, right? And discipline.
Yeah, I was answering the discipline question. That's
Right.
how I make sure I know that I'm.
Whether you feel like doing it
Right.
or not.
Exactly.
How important is it? Can you tell future music producers how important is that discipline part? Because it's easy to say the word discipline.
Yeah.
It's hard to actually.
No, definitely. Yeah, it's the only way to get better. The only way to get better is to work at it. You know what I mean?
And I would ask yourself, is this your passion? Because I feel like it's a lot easier to be disciplined at something that you're passionate about. Like, this is a job. This is my job. Music is my job. But when you do something you love for a living, it rarely feels like work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You said even when you don't feel like doing it, but that's rare. There's rarely times where I'm not excited to sit down and make something.
Trust me, they know. I make like 5 songs
in
in one sitting, just bouncing back to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. But yeah.
How about you? Now, my question to you is, you go home every day.
Yeah.
Does it desensitize you from the hurry up and wait process? You know what I mean? Because you guys, it's hurry up and wait. Because there's that level of, I cannot fail myself. I cannot fail the people around me. You, and this is a different question because like I have a 27-year-old son. He lives in Orange County. He has his own place, but he has a bed in one of the rooms in the house. And that bed is meant for him not to stay there, but just in case something happens, there's a bed for him to mend his broken wings, right? So in your case, like, you go home every day. Is there pressure? How do you pressure yourself to, I should be out of this house, or there's no pressure at all? Because you have no siblings. That's your house. I'm like, what are you saying? That's my place.
Yeah, what? It's my house. What do you mean? What?
No, but how do you discipline yourself?
Honestly, like, this is something obviously like I think about every day, but there is definitely a pressure to like get out, but there's also a sense of like security. I can stay here for a little bit while I'm young, and I can enjoy like, working on music and actually bettering myself than to like just go and like get money, like just really like focusing on myself. So I've been teaching myself a lot of things outside of music. Like, I've been working on videos for us, and I've been getting into trying to do like album covers, graphic design. I kind of just try to spend my day doing that. That's going back to the discipline stuff, try to better yourself every day.
What projects are out there that we can talk about? I mean, let's not talk about the stuff that you can't talk about now, but projects that you guys have done on your own and collaboratively. What's out there? Let's start with you, Josh.
We have a lot of unreleased stuff that we haven't, to the point where it's fresh.
Can you talk about?
But I can talk about
okay.
my own stuff. Yes.
Okay.
I actually just had a song recently hit #1 on the digital radio tracker DRT independent chart, and I think 46 on the global chart.
Nice.
This is a song called "Hit Me Up." It's on all platforms, so yeah, definitely check it out. It's R&B, but I'm not just an R&B artist. I make any genre.
So how did Hit Me Up come about?
Actually, I was going to a sister school of LA Film School in Florida called Full Sail University.
Yeah.
And while I was there, I think I was going through it with the women. You know how that goes.
Oh yeah.
And I think I had my little heart broken.
I was gonna go. How'd it go?
It didn't go the way I wanted it to. I'll tell you that. That's definitely for sure. So it just basically, the song says, when you're all alone, pick up your phone and hit me up. So it was really my first time being out of the house on my own and living on my own. And so it just came from a place of vulnerability, I believe.
Which is good. Nowadays vulnerability is good.
Yeah,
authenticity is key.
For sure.
Right?
I agree 100%.
So this song came about. Who produced it? You.
Actually, so at the time I was getting a lot of my beats from YouTube.
Okay.
And I ended up sending the producer the song, and he loved it, and he gave me a deal on purchasing the whole.
So it's not a lease; it's a purchase.
Yeah, I purchased it. So, yeah, it's been doing well, man. I have no complaints. I just had a show in St. Louis, April 7th. And that went really well, so I'm looking to perform more. And
so after that, after Hit Me Up, what else did you do?
I dropped an album, actually, my first album ever, called Need Your Attention, and it was more so an EP, actually. Need Your Attention, the EP, and I dropped that all platforms.
What are the songs on Need Your Attention? Hit Me Up's there?
Hit Me Up is there. We have an intro called Heartbreaker. We have a song called Glad You Came. Deserve, Time, All That Mattered.
Wait. So is this more of like a thematic kind of EP?
Yeah, it's real drawn out, and I have just my own unique style. You'd have to listen.
If you listen to the whole album, is there an arc? Like,
yes, to a certain degree, yes, but it's a Josh Royal arc.
Okay.
It's not going to be the same way somebody else did it, and that's what's beautiful about creation.
Yeah. How about you? How about you, Miles?
Yeah, so I have I think I have 4 singles out right now on Spotify and Apple Music. On Spotify, it's under McDangles.
So you really went by
yeah.
Oh, don't get
Mr.
us
D, huh?
don't get us started on McDaniel.
No. I want to know the story of McDaniels.
So McDangles, I play soccer, and when I was younger, for what it's worth, which is nothing, I was pretty disgusting. And we were playing after school one day, and I scored this crazy goal, and this kid came up to me and was like, yo, you're McDangles. And I was like, yeah. And I just went with that. Yeah.
Genuine.
I think that captures the energy of what I was trying to go for. Yeah.
Okay, so under McDangles.
That's on Spotify. On Apple Music, I think it's still just Miles Madigan. I'm trying to get it changed, but you know how
how's it doing on the platforms?
It's doing okay.
That high pitch. What's going on?
Yeah, the hype has, I've been building it up. I've been working on, I'm looking on dropping a project soon. Been working it up to,
Like when you say you've been working it up, about to drop a project soon, it's doing okay. There is frustration in everything you do, right? Sure. There's expectation, then there's frustration, and we have to settle with what's in between. But how do you, and you mentioned a while ago, letting go and letting God, right? Mm-hmm. Because sometimes when we hold on to stuff, that's when we stress out, right?
That's right.
How do you practice letting go?
I definitely, the thing with, just on what you asked about how it was doing and the numbers and being able to let that go, I think I've never really paid a whole lot of attention to the numbers. It's more about, for me, what keeps me going is the response that I see when I play it for these guys or when my friends back home.
Yeah.
I put out a song just recently and all my friends threw it on their stories on Instagram, and stuff like that can keep me going. I can run for 2 years off of that.
So it's basically more of like doing the activity, right?
Oh, yeah. I love doing it, and, I like seeing the positive response, firsthand from people that are close.
And you know what? I agree with you. And if you guys allow me to share a story, so my son decided, because he's a procrastinator, so he said, I'm gonna write a song a week for 1 year. Wrote 52 songs, right? Like, he wouldn't lease beats, he would produce it by himself, mix it, master. And I'm like, so what's the end goal? Are you looking for a hit song? Are you looking for... And he said, no, Dad. I just want to get away from being a procrastinator. I go, okay, that's
okay, son.
Pretty deep. And then he goes, not only that, I might learn some things along the way. And after 1 year, I asked him, so what'd you learn? He's like, I learned how to EQ. I learned how to master. I learned how to mix. I learned that writing songs isn't as easy as I thought it was. So just today, he got signed with Universal Records.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Congrats.
I mean, this was, so this is so weird because this guy just did the activity, then did the activity, and did the activity. He has a nice career with AAA. He's an insurance agent with AAA. And he's like, I just got signed with Universal Records. That was the conversation today. I was like, wow.
Talk about motivation.
Yeah,
man.
that's definitely motivation
Wow.
right there. That's amazing.
awesome.
27 years old. So I was like, whoa. I was like, well, good job.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had nothing to do with it. I
Right.
had nothing to do with it.
Right.
And I think as a parent, that's the best part. So my question to you is, how involved are your parents?
Oh, super involved. They're super supportive.
Mm.
Yeah, and they both have a real love for music.
But they're not backseat career drivers, no?
What do you mean?
Like, oh, do this, do that.
Oh no, not like that.
Okay.
No. If anything, I'm kind of updating them. Hey, I'm letting you know. I go out and actually like do things. You know, I'm going on a podcast tonight. By the
Like,
way,
Eric, get out of the house.
yeah, I'm like, all right. You know,
How about you, Miles?
Yeah, my parents, they don't really ask about this type of stuff. They know what I'm doing. They know I make music and all that, but they haven't heard most of my music.
How about your sisters, though?
Yeah, they like it. They're cool. My sisters are cool. They rock with it.
So you're the only boy?
Yeah.
Dude, that's hard. And you left your dad,
Yeah, he's still back home, yeah.
so he's the only boy.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Good luck.
Yeah. No, it's not as bad as in like my sisters are cool as hell. Like,
Okay,
it's
okay.
cool. Yeah.
How about you, Josh? Like your parents? I mean, like you said, your dad, right? Your dad wanted to come to LA also. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was like, do you feel that? And nothing against your dad. Huh? I
Right.
don't want this to turn out the wrong way, but he's excited for you because
Right.
you're gonna get to do something that he probably dreamt about doing.
Right.
Is there pressure on your part?
I would be lying if I said no. There's definitely pressure, but it's a little different for me because my dad is actually my manager. He's my dadager as of right now.
Dad is your.
that is yours.
So, yeah, I mean, just until we find somebody else that we can trust enough
Is
to
he here?
hand me off to. No, he's back in St. Louis. He's doing the dadager thing from St. Louis. So,
Like, call my manager.
yeah, for real. He still books me shows and all kinds of stuff like that. So I look at it from a perspective of, wow, I'm so blessed to be able to have this. And like have a dad that cares that much. That's my number one fan that wants to do this. That's actually in my life. So
All your parents are together.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. It's actually my mom's birthday today. Happy birthday,
Happy
Mom.
birthday.
Wow.
Thank you.
Happy birthday,
Isn't
Mom.
isn't that amazing? Like all your parents are still together. Not every kid has that privilege.
They
by
gave
the
us
way,
a chance.
right.
For real.
Like so, how important is family in with regard to your core value?
I mean, for us, like, it's just me and my parents here. Everyone else is back in Korea. So, I mean, it's all I know. You know, I only have them. No cousins out here. No. Well, I guess I have a cousin. I have a second cousin out here, but I don't know. I've met her like 3 times maybe.
It doesn't count.
Yeah.
5's the minimum.
Okay, yeah. 2 more times. Yeah. But yeah.
How about you? I mean, just let's just reflect on that because sometimes we disregard that fact that your family is not just around but still intact. Right?
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely. I think my parents definitely gave me a very good work ethic. Just seeing they both work and long hours, both of them. So seeing them both like get up and go and do their thing and then come back home and still either make dinner or all that and just never complain about it in front of me. It was like, that's really impactful because you see that and that's how you have to be. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Josh?
Man, it makes me emotional. I'm such an emotional person. It makes me emotional, but just like what he said, for real. Like my parents went through it so that I didn't have to, and like I know that I didn't ask to be here, but I can't even put into word. I can't describe how great they are. So I'm just so grateful and blessed.
Let's talk about gratitude. You just mentioned gratefulness. That's what I was trying to set it up for. How important is it to be grateful every day, especially in this career that you guys are doing, which is high profile when you make it? I'm not saying if. When you make it, it's very high profile. How important is the knowledge of being grateful every day and actually practicing it?
I think it is imperative because for me, it's all about it's the mindset. I can't go into the studio with a nasty negative mindset because my music is going to reflect that. I feel like, so yeah. I'm just grateful to have the voice to be able to get into a studio,
Right. Miles?
No, I agree with that for sure. Sometimes you get, especially with making music and you're talking about, pushing and getting frustrated and stuff, you can get to a point and you don't realize how far you've actually come. And it's good to think about things like that and to put it all in perspective when maybe it's not, because you know sometimes you'll sit down to make something, it just won't happen the way it's supposed to that time. But you have to remind yourself that you're along the journey. You know what I mean? You've already come so far. It's not one little bump in the road isn't worth giving up.
But when you say sometimes it doesn't happen the way you want it to,
yeah.
well, how would you react if you write a song, this is your expectation, you really don't like that song, you were just going through the motion of writing it to you know, just implement your discipline. You're partial toward song B, and all of a sudden song A, which really wasn't in your frontal, became a huge song.
How would I
That's how it happens. Yeah. They say most things go viral on accident. But if that were to happen, I woke up and it was viral or something, I wouldn't be mad. I would sleep better knowing that I have no regrets about making it.
But then again, Josh, that wasn't part of the template.
What is?
Interesting. Do you have a template when you create songs?
No, actually. I think if anything, I'm trying to just do something different every time.
So it's not intro, verse, hook, chorus, none of those.
Nah, not really. I just if anything, I try to not think about that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I get so stuck in like, I have to have like this, I have to have this.
But isn't the underlick important? Isn't the hook important? Isn't the...
Of course.
Yeah.
The chorus important?
Of course.
It's important, but you know, I'm making like house music.
Still, at some point, people are gonna have to raise their hands and raise the roof.
No, of course, yeah, it's a up and down, but you know, it's not. It doesn't have to be so rigid. I feel like,
and I feel but like it has to go up.
It does. Yeah, it will go up. It will go.
When?
Up. Probably like 30 seconds in.
See, that's what I meant.
There you go. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. My man, I know.
Yeah.
How about you, structure? Because like to Josh, it's like no template. What is? How about you?
So when I sit down to create, generally I start with you need like a melody, not a melody. You need like rhythm. You need good chords. So I start with either on the keys or on the guitar.
So you're more a chords person first.
For sure, yeah. Okay. I start with I think that lays the structure. You can kind of...
So nice talking about music.
For real, I love this, yeah. The beat can you can dictate the pace, and you can set the mood with the chords, you know what I mean? So start with the chords and then build from there generally.
How about you? Like Hit Me Up. When you created Hit Me Up, you told me like you got the music from YouTube.
I did.
So... how did it speak? How did the music speak to you? Because you were just clicking once. That's the beat.
The way that I make music is so it all starts with the beat, whether I make it or not. Right. Whoever makes it, Eric makes it, or if Miles makes it, it starts with the beat.
Right.
So I have to be moved by the beat. From that point on, I get behind the mic and I say what I feel, and like I don't write anything down. Like I just punch in, and at the end of the song, it's so crazy to hear what comes of what you were thinking. Just
have you punched him in? You've punched him in.
I punched him in
all the time.
All the time.
Okay. Oh, this is nice. It's like you're working with Jay-Z. You know how Jay-Z works, right?
Yeah.
Just press records.
That's one of the inspirations. Yeah. I got it from Lil Wayne, who he's
big now.
Inspired by Jay-Z. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's true. Yeah. So you've punched him in.
Yeah, and
so
talking about that for sure. Even just with making my own music, seeing the way he does it it's so inspiring just to see, and it makes you. I'm a competitive person, so and I know he's the same way too. Like
some of us come in,
want to go
right.
Like
some of us Miles come in with our Apple Notes and it's right there. Let me just sing to it. So you don't do any of those. You're like, okay, let me be inspired. Okay, Miles, punch me in.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'll even hum until I'll know the melody. My melodies are not my problem usually, humbly speaking. But then if I hum something, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Put words to it, and then boom, it's just there. It's ready to go.
Okay, so you're moved by the beat. You start with chord progressions.
Yeah.
What do you start with?
I actually want to like re-answer my question. It's interesting because I start making my beats with drums always.
Always drums?
Always drums.
Why? Interesting.
I don't know why. I think
but you're not a drummer.
No, but I think it's just like, well, I think it's habit, maybe.
Explain.
like I just always start with drums, so it's easier for me to build around a drum loop, I guess.
What do you use for drums?
Just
do you use software, hardware? What do you use?
no, I'm just taking like samples. I'm chopping samples together.
Who's your favorite artist to rip?
Like rip their samples.
Like rip their beats to create samples.
Like samples from Splice, like still one-shot samples.
Oh, okay. Is that
Oh
what you
yeah,
have?
yeah. I get like one-shot samples, but when it comes to like actual like sampling melodies, I'll just go and like go on YouTube and just like scroll through random, like I'll go to like vintage playlists and YouTube MP3, you know. Yeah. But
So you start with beats.
Yeah.
And then, like growing up, were you always biased toward the drums? No.
No, I think at first, like at the very beginning, when it comes to like making music, I think I was really into sound design at first. And then it kind of became like, how can I put these together to like make it sound like not mush?
Let's go nerd stuff. Are you into frequencies?
Kind of. I don't know. How are we talking?
We're talking like placements, like instrument placements when it comes to laying them down.
Oh yeah. I used to
Oh,
have like a
look
little
at
chart. Yeah, I used to have a little chart. You know what I'm talking about? The little spectral chart.
I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah, I gotta look that up sometimes and go by the numbers. But again, that too is like one of those things that I was trying to hit earlier, where I'm like, I got so in my way of like, I have to go by this chart. I have to go by this frequency. Snare has to be here, kick has to be here. But like now, I'm trying to just break that and just.
Are you more in tune with your ears now and with your gut? No.
Yeah, definitely. My ears have gotten better. Definitely. Like I always try to like go back and look at what I did before, and I'm like, if it sounds bad, that's a good thing. You know,
So
that
bad is good?
well, if my old stuff sounds bad in comparison to what I'm doing now, that's a good sign. You know, so and I feel like looking back, I'm like, okay, my ears have gotten better now because I would have turned this up, I would have turned that down. Back then, I was so obsessed with having my snare on this side. Like, dude, there was a time when I was so obsessed with panning my drums. Like, I was so obsessed with panning my drums, bro. I look back at my beats and like my hi-hats are on this side, but and
What
it's
were you
like
thinking?
it's distracting. Yeah, I'm like, bro, they're going back and forth. Like, I'm like, man. But so now I'm just trying to break that mold, you know. But
it's still drums.
But still, I kind of start with drums first. And it's interesting that we all kind of have a different starting point.
Right?
But we all kind of end up making the same song sometimes.
And it's
Working on the
nice.
same thing.
It's nice that all three of you have different starting points. Can you imagine if all three of you started with the drums? Nothing would come out of it.
It would make me not want to do it.
Right?
I like being able to do my own thing and create and not care what anybody says, because if it sounds good, I mean, what can people say, you know?
Okay, here. This is interesting. Who's your favorite artist and what got you started into music?
My favorite artist and what got me started into music.
Tough one.
Yeah, my
So
favorite.
both of you think of this. Think of your answers, huh?
I'm on it.
So I'm gonna say. I'm trying to think of what I've been listening to. I've definitely been. I've been listening to a lot of Bryson Tiller recently.
But that's recent. But
I'm saying, I don't know. My favorite artist kind of changes. I can't think.
first, okay, let's make it easy for all three of you. Your first favorite artist or the artist that got you into. That's what I want to do.
If it does it help you for me to go, or you got it?
No, I got it.
Go ahead.
Now I know. If you're talking about my first favorite was Lil Uzi Vert.
Okay,
When I
why?
used to hear, and it wasn't even him. That's what's crazy. I used to hear the Dabby Molly Raw on the tag, and that's what made me want to make beats. And so,
I see. Okay. Eric?
Definitely my first was Skrillex.
Skrillex.
Wow, I didn't know
that's a
that.
good one.
Yeah. So I was making like hella like dubstep. I thought I wanted to make dubstep and stuff. And now I've obviously moved away a little bit.
That guy would do everything on a Mac, on a laptop.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Crazy.
No keyboard, no nothing.
Nothing. Broken laptop,
They
too.
say it's not about the equipment; it's about
Right?
about the engineer.
And he was
How
in a
about
punk
you?
rock band before that.
Right?
Really
Yeah,
successful.
crazy.
Dude. Crazy.
Bro, was sick.
How about you? How about you, Josh?
My first favorite artist ever was Usher. I would put on the leather and dance through the music videos at like 1 year old, like tiny. So definitely Usher. He
So
was
you
inspiration.
knew at a very young age that this was your path.
Yeah, definitely. I had some things happen when I was younger that I had no choice. Like it just absolutely yanked me into music, and I was like, I'm definitely doing music.
So you dance.
I do a little bit of dancing. I do choreography.
Okay, so you dance. You dance?
I was actually on a dance team in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys didn't know that, huh?
Yeah, I did not know that.
That came
I
from
did
left
not-
field.
yeah, whoa, whoa. Where is
What?
this now?
It wasn't nothing crazy.
He might be lying.
No, I'm not lying.
No, I'm just joking.
Do you dance?
I mean, at a party for sure, but maybe not in a video. I don't know about that. Not if there's cameras around.
We'll get him on video.
Yeah,
Don't worry
definitely.
about
Not
it.
if
Might
there's
have to
cameras.
incorporate that sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's. I'm gonna. As of this taping, are you guys in your 20s still?
Yes.
Early 20s.
Yeah.
Early 20s. No kids.
No,
That I
sir.
know of.
Oh, you saying that like, hey.
No, sir. Nope.
Why not?
Because I want them to have the best chance at success as possible. And I know that right now I could not. If it happened, I would step up and I would do it. But it's not going to happen because I can't have it happen. So somebody knock on some wood for me. So as of right now, absolutely not. But in the future, let's do it.
Miles?
Yeah, exactly what he said. I don't think in that scenario, of course, I would step up and I'd do my thing, but I think I want to wait until I have my own home and a wife.
And not only so that they have the best shot at success as possible, but me too.
us too.
So
Your
that
life
we
is-
also
yeah.
because
This is so interesting and weird because during my time, like, right, Mike? During my time, it's like, dude, I'm 18. I need to have a baby.
y'all were
That's
different.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Not me.
I don't know about that.
Y'all were
Not me.
different.
Like, I have 5 kids.
Wow.
I have 5 kids. Yeah, one's 27. I'm 51. So at least I had one when I was 25.
Okay.
25 is
Yeah, that's
I know
reasonable.
people who have
That's
they're
reasonable.
But
good.
it's not the 3 of you though. No?
No,
Yeah.
25 is like it's near future. I'm about to be 23 Cinco de Mayo on May 5th.
Oh, May
coming
5th.
up.
Okay.
So yeah, that's not too far away, man. That's,
Dude.
I don't know.
Never know.
You never know. I appreciate the knock. I'm gonna go ahead and get one more in myself.
Okay, so I'm excited for all 3 of you, but I want you to profess your goal because I want to invite all 3 of you again. Maybe a year from now. So when we come back a year from now,
Okay.
and this is gonna be a challenge. Where will you be? So we're gonna play back this episode and compare that all 3 of you
1 year from now.
1 year from now.
Awesome.
Ooh, 1 year from now, I'm gonna be rooting for all 3 of you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
1 year from
Likewise.
now.
Likewise.
Of course,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah.
So let's hedge our careers today.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Ooh, 1 year from now.
Yeah, come on, get.
I'm hoping we will all be signed, all 3 of us, and we'll all be just kind of making music, and whether it be together or,
Don't hold
me
back,
working with house
do not
music
hold
or
back.
But I think in a year from now we'll definitely be working together. But I just hope we'll be doing bigger and better things.
We will.
But we're definitely coming back in a year.
Definitely.
I'll be here.
Miles.
For me, I have some music that I'm getting ready to drop that I hopefully will be out by then. And I want to start doing shows. I want to start performing.
A year from now, when we come back, we'll count the number of shows you've performed in.
Yes, yeah. I want to start doing shows.
Bring it home, Josh. Like a year from now, where will you be and where will the 3 of you be?
I mean this in the most respectful way possible. My goal a year from today is to not be able to make it to your podcast. I want to come. I'm going to come. I'm going to be here. But I want to be so deep into my passion
Like busy.
that so I'm getting booked here. I'm in Canada. Sorry, I can't make it, guys. I'm in Canada. You hear me? Just counting the ducats. So yeah, for sure. I'll be here. It might
Wouldn't
not
that be nice if you had them on virtual?
Right.
But
Fuckers that too busy for Pacos place.
we're on Zoom. No, I see us doing great things. I see us just keep making each other better and just keep going up because we've already come so far from when I first met these guys. It's crazy. So.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
You know what? Before we land this, shout out to you because you have such a very, very good heart.
Oh wow. Thank you.
When I invited, it was so weird because when Eric was here, I was like, "You Filipino?" No. And then I really personally invited you back. Remember?
Yeah.
I said, come back. Let's let's chat because I really want to nerd out and talk about music. And when Eric told us that, I'm bringing my friends, that speaks volume of his heart.
It does.
Oh wow,
It really does. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Because it's easy to just, this is my light. But no.
Yeah.
Like, and then that's integrity right there. So please keep it up.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, I would have not even been on the podcast if it wasn't for the band that brought me.
Or
So.
Dwarf, yeah.
Yeah, so of course, I mean,
Shout
I
out
had
to
to bring
them.
them. Yeah, shout out to them.
Shout out to you for
Jay.
having
Shout
us.
out to you for having us.
Thank you
you
so much.
Dude, wishing you all
Everybody.
the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Royal, we have Miles Madigan, and we have Eric Han. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe their music. We'll post it on the description below. The links are going to be there. Please subscribe to them and what they do. Support because that's how we grow.